In the New York Times season preview of the 1979 to 1980 season, the author Sam Goldacre referred to the newly implemented three-point shot as a gimmick. Phoenix Suns coach John McLeod would go out of his way to state that he wasn't going to let his players bomb from 23 feet out because he believed it was very boring basketball. Even one of the most revolutionary minds of basketball, Red Auerbach, would leave his input. "We don't need it, I say leave our game alone," and went as far to say that it was the NBA's desperate attempt at raising their poor TV ratings. However, one mind that sought this as the future of basketball was Clippers coach Gene Shue. He believed in the shot and even set plays for his team's designated three-point shooter Brian Taylor. This was met with high criticism, with many people believing that the Clippers offense was taking a lot of bad shots. And the NBA by the end of the 1980 season saw entire teams averaging only 2.8 three-pointers a game, only utilizing them at the end of quarters. Slowly but surely, however, that belief began to change, with none other than Danny Ainge demonstrating that three-pointers could be a key element of a team's offense. Then Michael Adams of the Denver Nuggets officially establishing a niche of being a three-point specialist in the early 90s. People like Reggie Miller came along, and then Ray Allen. Fast forward to the 2020 NBA season, and now NBA teams are averaging over 34 three-pointers per game and recognize it as a central strategy. NBA big men who were originally intended to be posted out around the basket and shoot no further than 12 feet are now expected to be able to make threes and stretch out opposing defenses. Players that aren't equipped for this new generation of play have seen their value to the league relegated. The main reason responsible for changing the way basketball as we know it would be played would be because of Wardell's Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors. His play has affected how the current shooters in the league, and for those that are just now entering, approach how to use this shot. Instead of posting out right in front of the line, these players have learned to expand their range and to be viewed as a threat from 30 to 35 feet out, resulting in nicknames such as Logo Lillard and Ice Trey. However, with players now using this as the new standard quo, it begs the question of whether or not the NBA should move with this progression. Get with the times, if I may say. Shooting the ball from 24 feet from the basket and shooting it from 34 feet away from the basket are both commonly utilized in today's game, yet both shots result in the same amount of points, despite the discrepancy in difficulty. With this in mind, we come to one solution that solves this issue, that will be able to keep up with the game evolving. So today we're going to ask, what if the NBA added a 4-point line?
Yeah, it's impressive. The pull-up threes in transition. I don't think that was the case 10, 15 years ago. Seemed like it was more of a spot-up shot. Now you see everything. You see guys flying off screens, catching, J.J. Redick style, or, fading away from the basket, coming off screens, pull-up threes like KD, step backs like Harden. It is impressive, and I just think it's kind of the way the game is going. The three-point shot has become so prominent that players go home all summer and just shoot a million of them and practice a lot of different things. So the skill level is amazing.
Now let me reiterate my question. I'm not asking if the NBA should implement a 4-point line, because this reality is inevitable. NBA teams themselves are even preparing for this. Former Philadelphia 76ers coach Brett Brown added a gray tape to signify a 4-point line in the Sixers practice facility. Sixers assistant Lloyd Pierce was hired by the Atlanta Hawks later that summer and implemented a similar one, marking it 5 feet away from the regular 3-point line. Now teams such as the Brooklyn Nets, the Chicago Bulls, and so many other teams have had these in their practice facilities for a while now, gearing up for what's to come. For some more supporting evidence of its practice, Ice Cube's Big 3 League has designated 4-point spots, a similar application which has proven to garner interest. And to nail it in the coffin as to why this is a matter of when and not if, the NBA has already officially used the 4-point line in a game before with the 2019 Celebrity All-Star Game. And this was headlined by none other than the current leader in three-pointers made in NBA history, Ray Allen, the perfect person to debut it with. 10 4-pointers were made this game. Now imagine how many would have been made with actual NBA players. The creation of the 4-point line signifies the NBA moving along with the evolution of how we play the game of basketball. However, what is it that we can expect after its original creation? Well, a few obvious ones that I can think of off the top of my head: higher scoring averages, higher scoring games, the occasional 5-point play, and for sure, some historically memorable shots in the playoffs. James Harden is probably going to average 50 points a game and break Wilt Chamberlain's scoring record, and if not him, someone definitely will be able to. This is the outlet where that becomes genuinely possible. Another one, obviously much more spacing. See, the Hawks don't have a 4-point line just for the sake of having a 4-point line. The utilization of it during practice allows them to demonstrate how defenses are forced to step out on long-range shooters and stretches said defenses thin. When you have a physical line that represents, hey, make sure that guy does not shoot from there, that tells said defense where exactly to stick on them. This has clearly proven to be successful with Trey averaging over 30 points per game this season. Opposing defenses are going to have to come up with entire game plans to counteract this strategy, which may lead to players designated for full court pressing the opposing sharpshooter off the rip. And that leads me into one of the major points. The gravity, like guys like Trey Young, is going to be even stronger, showing that you don't have to be 6'8" and jacked in order to dominate in the NBA like days past. This might be the perfect deconstruction of what it means to be dominant at scoring, going from an athletic freak of nature such as Wilt Chamberlain or Shaquille O'Neal to being able to go against those same giants' weaknesses by sticking on the perimeter and claiming their own dominance as a skinny 6-foot player. Because of this, it's likely that if you can't at least be able to shoot a 3, you won't have a home in the NBA, no matter who you are. Y'all know basic math, right? So a team is down by 11 points. Instead of needing 4 3-point baskets, a team only needs 3 4-point baskets. Now I want you to apply this to a late game situation. Y'all know the hack and shack strategy, right? Like you make a 3, you foul to send the opponent to the line, gain a 1-point margin each time. Rinse and repeat until you catch up. Now, rarely do those ever actually work, but we could see a lot more successful attempts at it. Your lead is never safe. Another one, if there's a 4-point line in question, who's to say that there won't be a 5-point line down the future? Now along these lines, I wanted to give you guys a tangible expression as to what the point spread for each player would look like. Unfortunately, the best that I could find was percentages for shots 25 to 29 feet, and our 4-point line would probably be around 28 feet at the least. But the highest percentages were from the usual suspects, so it would likely stay the same. With all of this in mind, I believe the creation of a 4-point line will result in the creation of the best two-way game plan. Now, the Golden State Warriors utilized and revolutionized small ball with the long-time existing 3-point shot. It's only a matter of time until long ball is revolutionized, utilizing lineups of bigger wings with elite ball handling abilities such as Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, and Donovan Mitchell. Because, well, if teams are running 5 out constantly to an even further degree, you gotta have the arm length to cover that defensive ground. And also, being able to shoot right over defenders is a really nice perk. So yeah, the 4-point line would lead to stronger gravity and a preference for lengthy shooting and lengthy competent defense. All because of this guy. Anyways, that's the end of today's video. If y'all have any thoughts of what the implications of the 4-point line being implemented in the NBA are, be sure to let me know down below. And if you're a fan of basketball that enjoys NBA YouTube content, make sure to check out some of my other videos. And if you like what you see, make sure to stay subscribed and stay up to date with future videos. I upload every Tuesday and Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is all I've got for you today, so I'll see you next time.